A warning before you listen.
What you are about to hear is not meant for children, nor for the faint of heart. This is an unfiltered retelling of ancient myths, told as they were born, raw, violent, unsoftened. Expect scenes of brutality, curses that linger, betrayals that reshape fate, and a hunger for power that shows no mercy. These myths were never meant to lull children to sleep. They were forged in blood, shadow, and fire. So ask yourself, are you ready to hear them as they were first told? Sources and references can be found in the episode description. Chapter 3 from the Titans epic, Origins of Power and Makers of Tyranny, the Titanesses, thrones hidden behind the walls. In an age of men who swung sickles and claimed the skies, in a world where power roared like beasts in heat, there walked women no one saw, but the ground trembled with every step they took. While the male Titans carved up the heavens, lit fires across the seas, and stretched the world's edges, 6 women stood beneath the weight of stone, holding up the cosmos without a single eye cast their way. They bore no weapons, yet each of them carried a dormant curse, far more lethal than any blade. They were not queens, but the thrones of kings stood on the bones of their silence. They were not worshipped, but through their veins ran the threads with which fate would weave the future's tyranny. These women never fought each other, never quarreled, yet each one left a scar across the skin of time. Theia, the gravity that kills. Theia, the face one never forgets. A Titanius around whom eyes fell before she even spoke. She wasn't beautiful, she was too beautiful, blinding, searing like a sun poured into the shape of a woman. From her body came the sun, the moon, and the dawn, but she wasn't the mother of light, she was the mother of lethal allure. Whoever looked into her eyes didn't see themselves, they saw what they wished to be and never could. Every soul that came near her burned, and she knew, but she never warned. Theia didn't seek to rule, yet she left Titans smoldering in their desire, smiling through the flames. Rhea, the silence that births revolt, sister, then wife, but never once did her heart speak love. Rhea, the woman who slept beside the one who murdered his father and suckled her breast to the one who would devour their children. She wasn't weak nor a helpless lover. She was a soft wall hiding a pit without bottom. In her eyes, no tears, only strategies. In her body, no children, only fates. She never marched to war, but her womb became the first true battlefield in history. Themis, the law that does not forgive. Themis never loved, never bore children, never seduced. She was the unblinking eye, the scale that never begged, the silence that could not be fooled. She wrote law before ink ever touched stone. She didn't stop Kronos from swallowing his young, but she etched his crime on the wall of time and turned the universe's clock into a ticking countdown. Themis did not rebel, nor judge, but her vengeance moved through time, not blood. Mnemosyne, memory made of stone. Even if all forget, Mnemosyne remembers. She doesn't shout, she doesn't write, she doesn't rule. She remembers every whisper, every betrayal, every desire. She walked the corners of the world, listening to what was never said, seeing what hid behind smiles. From her womb came the muses, the voices that would carry the stories of gods and monsters. Mnemosyne never took revenge. She simply wrote the ending, from the very beginning. Phoebe, the silent prophecy. She never spoke, yet the stones understood her. Phoebe, the Titaness born with eyes that saw what hadn't yet occurred, moved through shadows and whispered to the wind. She once told the darkness, Light will be born from your womb. And it wasn't metaphor. She saw the lightning before it struck, saw the cradle that would shatter Kronos' reign before it ever rocked. She wasn't a prophet, she was prophecy itself, walking and waiting. Tethys, the spring that does not pardon. Tethys, water flowed from her flesh, the first river fell from her eyes. But she was no gentle stream. She was a source that knew how to drown. She birthed rivers, but never raised them. She unleashed them to wash or to destroy. Tethys did not scream, did not intervene, but when she trembled, no one survived the flood. Behind every titan there walked one of these women unseen, and when Kronos roared into the heavens, he did not rule alone. He ruled upon walls they had built. They were never crowned, yet their fingerprints scorch the bones of time. And when a king falls, it's not always because he's cruel. Sometimes he simply forgot the wall that carried him. And when walls crumble, no throne stands, only rubble. This chapter of the epic has come to an end, but remember, what you've just heard is not a record of facts, but the echo of a myth. A story born from the imagination of the ancients, etched into the long memory of humankind. If this tale stirred something in you, if it opened a door to reflection or wonder, don't forget to support the channel and share the journey with those you love. And in the comments, tell us, which moment in this chapter struck you the most and why? We'll meet again in the next chapter of this audio odyssey through time. Until then, farewell.